welcome to our lesson for today. So remember, last time we left it with Shadrack, Meshack and Abednego all standing upright and boldly refusing to bow down to the statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had built. And remember, King Nebuchadnezzar had said, if you don't bow down to the statue, you will be thrown into the furnace, which is a place with a lot of fire. But they still refused to bow down to the statue. So now, let's see what happens to Shadrach, Meshack and Abednego.
Many of King Nebuchadnezzar's advisors were jealous of Shadrach, Meshack, Abednego, and even Daniel. So when they saw that the three refused to bow and worship the image, they quickly ran to the king and told him, "Your Majesty, you must see what these people have done."
And then when the king heard that they had refused to bow down to his statue, he became furious. He became very angry. And he said, "Go and get them." And when they came, he asked them, "Tell me this isn't true, that you refused to bow down to my statue. I will give you one more chance to show that you are loyal to me. Bow down to my statue and worship it, or you will be thrown into the furnace."
So Shadrach, Meshack and Abednego told the king, "We do not want another chance. We do not want another chance for us to worship your image, because we refuse to worship your image. We refuse to worship what you have made, and we choose to remain loyal to our God, because we know our God is able to save us from the fire. And even if he is not able to save us from the fire, we will still remain loyal to him."
And then the king became angrier and his face became red because he was so angry. And then he ordered his servants, "Make the fire as hot as possible. Make the furnace as hot as possible." And then the servants added charcoal, and they added more charcoal, and they added more charcoal until the fire was white hot.
The king ordered for the people to throw Shadrach, Meshack and Abednego into the fire. So they tied them up with ropes and they threw them into the fire, and the fire was so hot that it killed the people who threw them into the fire.
Imagine.
But as the king was watching, his face began to show that he was shocked, he was amazed, and he asked his people, "How many did we throw into the fire?"
And then the people said, "3. We threw 3 people into the fire." But the king said, "Look, there's a 4th person. There's a 4th person in the fire. And look, this 4th person looks different from the other 3. And also look, they're free. They're not tied up anymore. They're walking around." And he was so shocked and amazed about what he was seeing. He couldn't even believe it.
The king called out, "Shadrach, Meshack, Abednego, those who worship the true God, come out of the fire." And in amazement, the 3 walked out of the fire, and they were not burnt. Their clothes and their skin were completely okay. The only thing that had been burnt was the rope that they used to tie them up.
Then King Nebuchadnezzar said, "You serve an amazing God." Then he turned to his officials and said, "This is the God. This God should never be spoken bad of. Nobody should ever speak badly about this God, because no other God would have been powerful enough to save his people the way their God saved them." So children, from this lesson we learned that we should always choose to be loyal to God, no matter what. Remember, Shadrach, Meshack and Abednego knew that they were going to be thrown into the fire. And remember, they also said, "We know our God can save us, but whether he chooses to save us or whether he doesn't choose to save us, we will still be loyal to him." So no matter what, you need to trust God, and you need to always choose to be loyal to God. So now it's time to sing our song. So everyone stand up and help us sing this song. Okay, kids, it's time to sing our song. Now, we've just learned about Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego and how they were loyal to God and they trusted Him no matter what. Now, we're gonna sing a song that says, I trust in you, Lord. So, everyone, stand up and help us sing this song. When I feel worried, when I feel scared, I can trust God. I know He loves me, I know He cares, I can trust God. When things are good and when they're not, no matter what, I can trust God. I trust in you, Lord. I trust in you, Lord. I say you are my God. I trust in you, Lord. I trust in you, Lord. I trust in you, Lord. I say you are my God. I trust in you, Lord. I can trust God. I can trust God. I can trust God. I can trust God. When things are good and when they're not, no matter what, I can trust God. I trust in you, Lord. I trust in you, Lord. I say you are my God. I trust in you, Lord. I trust in you, Lord. I trust in you, Lord. I say you are my God. I trust in you, Lord. Yeah! Okay, kids, it's time to do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego were loyal to God no matter what, and how God saved them from the fire. So now we're going to create a furnace, and inside that furnace we're going to have fire, and then we're going to put Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego inside, and then we're also going to put a fourth person, which is the angel that God sent to take care of them. So what we have is we have two different sets of manila paper. We have a yellow one, and this is going to be the background for our furnace. Then we have a white one where we cut a square hole outside of it. So these are going to be the doors for our furnace, so we can close them. So we'll stick them down and we'll be able to close the doors and open the doors. And then we have people. So we have three people that look the same. We cut them out of white manila paper, and this is going to be Shadrach, this is going to be Meshack, and this is going to be Abednego. Then we have another person that we cut out of a different manila paper, and this is going to be our angel. And the last thing we need is fire. So we have fire in yellow and we have fire in white manila paper, and we're going to color all of these items, and then we're going to put our people inside. So put aside your furnace, the doors and everything, and then just take your people and your fire, and let's start by coloring each of these items. And once you have all of your people colored, put them aside and pick your fire and just give it a little bit of color. So I'm going to use orange and red and yellow just to give my fire a little bit more color. and once you have color on all of your fire, next thing we need to do is we need to put all of these items together. So bring back your furnace. As you can see on our first paper, we have something that looks like an outline of the box. Let me just make it darker. So we have a square outline, and this is where all of our items are going to go. So first thing I need you to do is draw a square outline in the center of your manila paper. Then take your fire. So we're going to take our fire and we're going to place it, we're going to stick it down so that the whole furnace looks like it's burning. So that's the first thing we need to do. Take your fire, stick it down. It's okay if your fire goes a little bit outside the box that you've drawn. We need the fire to look hot, very, very hot, because remember King Nebuchadnezzar said, make the fire white hot. Okay, so once we have all of our fire placed down in the furnace, next thing we need to do is we need to put the doors of the furnace on. So take this paper, the one that you've cut a hole out of, fold it almost like the doors are closed. So the whole part is on the other side. And then I want you to put glue right at the top and right at the bottom. Don't put glue on the doors because we need the doors to be able to open and close. So put glue right at the top. Then leave the hole in the middle and then put glue right at the bottom. Okay. Then stick your furnace doors onto the paper. Make sure the box is right in the middle and then stick your doors. Okay, so now if you look at it, it looks like there's a window that we can see through, and then make sure your doors can open and close. So my doors can close. Doors can open, and even when my doors are closed we can see fire coming out of the furnace. Last thing we need to do is we need to put Shadrack, Meshack and Abednego and the angel inside the fire. So those are the last things we're going to stick, and we're just going to stick them right here on top of the fire, because remember they were never hurt by any of the fire. So just make sure they all fit, they all have space, and put them on top. Go. We have people in the fire, and this is Shadrack, Meshack and Abednego. Then I want you to close your furnace doors, and on top of the doors, that is where we're going to write what our story for today is. So take your pen and write at the very top what our story for today is. So today our story comes from Daniel chapter 3. So write Daniel chapter 3. And what did we learn from this story? 1. Always be loyal to God. So on one side, write always be loyal to God. No matter what. Because remember, Shadrach, Meshack and Abednego said, whether we know that our God can save us, but whether he saves us or not, we will always be loyal to him. So on one side, write always be loyal to God no matter what. And on the other side, write Daniel chapter 3 at the very top. And then write always trust in God. just like Shadrack, Meshack, and Abednego. So we need to always be loyal to God no matter what, and we need to always trust in God, just like Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego. And when you open it, you have people inside your furnace being burnt in the fire but never being burnt by the fire. So this is our craft for today, and that has been our lesson for today. So next time we'll see what continues to happen to Daniel in Babylon. But until then, bye!